Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today's topic for the discussion is how to become a Navy or a military pharmacist, or how to get into nuclear pharmacy. And the third one is how to be a veterinary pharmacist. So being a pharmacist, we are very much restricted to industry, hospital and community. However, there are other job pays as well, like military, nuclear and pharmacy and veterinary pharmacy, whereby the scope is increasing day by day. If you talk about military, people earn about 30,000 to 50,000 on an average, depending upon the class, like if it's class 2, class 3, what kind of military pharmacist he or she is. Nuclear pharmacist basically deals with all the radioactive substances. Nowadays, all the radioactive particles of alpha, beta, they are being used in either diagnosis, prognosis, or theragnostics. So that is also very gaining popularity nowadays. And speaking about veterinary pharmacy, so there are so many various companies that require veterinary pharmacy, because it just not deals with your dogs, cats, or your home domestic animals, but it also deals with various agricultural aspects, various other insects, aspects related to insects and animals. So that is what we are going to discuss: the eligibility, the criteria, the scope, the salary. So the first one is how to become a Navy or a military pharmacist. So first you need to give an online application on the website of Navy or military pharmacist. So there is a website that is dedicated. I'll attach the link in the description section. The next one is a written examination. So it is like an entrance test. If you want to get into military pharmacy, you need to give that entrance test. The third is the medical examination. So your eyes, ears, your senses, and your pathophysiological condition, whether it's appropriate and whether you're fit to get into this particular field. Then there's a personal interview, PI, whereby they ask you certain questions related to the field and you need to crack that interview. Next comes the merit list, whereby they shortlist the candidates. And finally, training sessions, whereby certain training programs, internal training, external training, are being conducted. Now, speaking about the each step in detail, so the salary of level 5 pay matrix is either ranging from 30,000 to 95,000 per month. So it has a good pay. Either it can be non-gazetted, non-ministerial, or non-industrial. So there are different levels of pay: level 2, 3, 4, and 5. So there are various matrices associated with these levels. The number one is recruitment process. The application form is available on the Navy's official website, Indian Navy's website, whereby you can apply for the same. Next, there are written examinations, whereby there are questions not just from pharmacy, but also your general knowledge questions, like general aptitude, or you can say verbal ability, logical reasoning, numericals, etc. Medical examinations, whereby they check whether you are meeting the medical standards of the Indian Navy. And in this, they shortlist a very few candidates, because not everybody is able to keep up to the medical examination standards. Next up is interview. In the personal interview, as I said, they evaluate your suitability for the career. They evaluate how fit you can fit into this category of being a Navy pharmacist. And finally, the merit list and training sessions, whereby you are given various curriculum guidelines, you are given various on-field guidelines. So that is what is about the training session. Next up, we have how to be a nuclear pharmacist. So nuclear pharmacist, there's a definite post that you call as authorized nuclear pharmacist. You call it as ANP. So after you have obtained your undergraduate degree in pharmacy, or a certification course, there are various certification courses for nuclear pharmacy as well. So diploma in nuclear pharmacy, there's another course as well. So once you have received your license, and through the program you learn about all about radiopharmaceuticals and radioactive drugs, like iodine 131. It is a radioisotope. Iodine is what? It is iodine deficiency can cause goiter. That is why we say Tata Namak Desh Ka Namak. Why? Because it contains iodine. So the people who are residing more in the hilly areas at a higher altitude and atmosphere, they lack this iodine. So they need more amount of salt content and they suffer from goiter very frequently. So this iodine 131 is used as a radioactive isotope. It is as a diagnostic agent, as well as a prophylactic agent for treating goiter. It is basically anti-thyroid drug. So for eligibility into this examination, you need to of course have your undergraduate degree and a license, and you need to be graduate from a ACPE approved college, that is Accredited Council for Pharmacy Education, or AICT, All India Council for Technical Education. And you should have at least 4,000 hours on job training as a pharmacist. So this is a very essential requirement. 4,000 hours of job training as a pharmacist. So this is a main prerequisite of this job. Speaking about the training and experience, so there is a classroom training because radioactive isotopes could be a little toxic and could be a little more fragile to handle. So there is a 200 hours of training on classroom training, whereby they teach you about radio physics, they teach you about radiation protection, various units, various radioactive materials, handling, storage, transportation, and other miscellaneous topics, allied topics. Then under the supervised examination, you actually handle these radiopharmaceuticals. So that is a training period of around 300 to 500 hours. So you learn to order, receive, survey, package the various radiopharmaceuticals, calibration of various scintillating. So scintillating devices are very essential because they are the basis of any radiopharmaceuticals. And then you learn about calibration of patient doses, like how much of dose is to be administered. So dose adjustment is a very important allied field. See, speaking about certain certification courses, so University of Tennessee, Purdue University, and Nuclear Education Online, UNM, and IJAMS. So these are few of the certification programs that are available. And also besides this, there's a distance learning program. You can check the website for more details. And the last topic for today is how to be a veterinary pharmacist. So we have heard about veterinary doctors. So similarly, there are veterinary pharmacists, and there are various diploma courses of 1 year, 6 months, and so, and certification courses. So what are the profiles? What are the job description of a veterinary pharmacist? He or she can either be into agriculture, merchant marketing, or that is marketing for pharmaceutical veterinary products, large scale medicines, veterinary regulation, veterinary pharmacy management. So there are veterinary hospitals. So there you need a veterinary pharmacy management. Which medicine, like if it is a propolis, if it is a fitnopril, what it is, which medication it is, because most of the medicines are insecticidal, because dogs fall easily prey to certain maggots and various other insects. So there are certain medications that need to be handled with care. So you should be having a thorough knowledge of the same. And next is medical specialist or a publishing. So whenever there's a veterinary doctor, you can work under or work with the veterinary doctor for the same. Speaking about the syllabus, so you have animal husbandry, basic computer applications, anatomy and physiology of animals, you have pharmacology. So basically you need to learn about the drugs, what the PK and PD, what the drug is doing to the body of the animal, and how the body is reacting to the drug that is administered to that particular animal. In the secondary, you have poultry, horticulture, and all animal reproduction, basic andrology, and preventive medicines for veterinary. So this was all about veterinary pharmacists. Here are certain eligibility criteria. So after earning an undergraduate degree, you can enroll in a PG course, pharmaceutical program. There are various universities that provide veterinary pharmaceutical sciences as a major subject, and you can also earn the certification through SVHP, that is Society of Veterinary Hospital and Pharmacist. It is not a stringent rule that you have to obtain, but it is a recommendation. If it's better if you get this certification. And the last slide is about the bright career opportunities in pharmacy. So when we divide pharmacy scope, we have pharmacist as a major field. Then we have marketing, we have industry, we have R&D, we have entrepreneur, we have government jobs, we have clinical trials, we have academics, and we have regulatory affairs. So when we speak about only pharmacist, we have either a hospital pharmacy, clinical pharmacy, or a community pharmacy. Community pharmacy is basically in villages and rural areas where doctors are not much available easily. So at that time, there is community pharmacy. Clinical pharmacy is basically in hospitals where they deal with suppose if the particular dose is given to a particular person and he's suffering from comorbidity, that is hypertension and diabetes. So the role of a clinical pharmacist is to identify whether are there any drug interactions, are there any adverse drug effects on that particular patient. So analysis of those particular things, pharmacovigilance. Marketing, obviously MBA has a very good scope. MBA has been has gained its place in almost every field. So as an MR, medical representative, you might having your package very low as an MR, but the incentives and the allowances for MR are quite high. You get to roam around in a lot of colleges, sorry, in a lot of industries and all. So as an MR, you can have a experience of all of those things. In pharmaceutical industry, you can either be a quality assurance, you can be into quality control, you can be a formulation and development scientist, or anybody, a consultant. There are consultancies now gaining in pharmacology, especially the pharmacologist, ICMR, and associated organizations are now gaining a lot of importance. R&D, you can be either a lead research scientist, you can be a JRF, that is junior research fellow, senior research fellow, pharmacovigilance, DRDO. So DRDO is a very important organization for all the research associates. Entrepreneurship, you can either have a retailer chain, you can have a e-commerce. Government jobs, there are DI, drug inspector, government analyst, scientific assistant, manager of pharmacy, deputy director in pharmacy. Academics, you can be a principal, professor, assistant professor, associate professor, lecturer, visiting faculty, etc. In clinical trials, there are clinical research associates, senior clinical research associates. You can work in contract research organizations, which you call as CRO. Regulatory affairs, you can either get into medical transcribing and medical writing. You can get into patent. So there's a different exam for patent. And trust me, the people who are into patent officers, they earn a lot, because for a single patent to be filed, they can charge you around 50,000, 1 lakh minimum. So that is a very good field again. Regulatory affairs and manager, and regulatory affairs executive. So that's all for today's video. I hope you all found it very, very interesting and informative. Do drop your doubts, suggestions, queries, and advices in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to read them and get back to you. Thank you so much for watching today's video.